This time on Woody's Garage, we are still working on the ugly little tar baby.
Okay, today we're back on the back wheel. I want to do something about it. Timothy chimed in and said that the JB Weld hub was a pretty foolhardy way to go. He didn't think that would last at all, and I kind of agree. I mean, also it seems like when I put the sprocket on it now that it's kind of like crooked. So I don't even think we're going to try that. We're going to try tapping this out. Now what I got is M10 by 125 bolts. And I looked up on the chart and they said to the drill out for a non-metric, I forgot what they called it, universal or something like that, is an 8.8 millimeter, well I guess that would be metric, drill bit. So I started looking at my drill bits and I didn't find anything close, but I did find an old, probably dullish bit that I have that measures 8.75. I mean, that is so close. I think we're going to go with this. And we got to drill out the wheel, and then we got to drill out the hub, and then we got to try to tap it. So first off, I'm going to do the wheel on the drill press here. And I'm going to use a 3/8 drill bit. That'll give the bolts a little bit of space, but it should be a good snug fit. Yeah, drilled those out. Looks like you can thread right into that. So I might actually even thread these. I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe I'll take them out a little more. We're just getting kind of close to the inside. Now it's scary hub time. I don't know, I guess I gotta try it. You know? Let's do it. Well, that's all four of them. That looks a little oblonged out. They all went easy except for one. Yeah, one caught when I decided to, like, the other ones went like through like butter. Then I tried to do one with the video camera. And you saw the result. That was the one that kind of stuck. So now we got to see if we can tap this. Got it in the vise. Things are going okay so far. Yeah, that's a good looking thread there. Hope we can do it 3 more times. Yeah, for the sake of time, I'm not videotaping these, but they're going rather well. I go in a little bit, I back it out a little bit, go in a little bit, back it out. I also take the whole thing out and clean off the chips and keep plenty of lube on it. And it seems to be doing a good job. Well, I'm on the last one, and I've encountered a little bit of a problem. This is the only one that lines up with one of these 3. The other ones were kind of like here. And this is kind of hitting this, so I don't want to go in crooked. So I guess I can go in from the other side, or no. Or I got it kind of started, so maybe if I can get another tool on it, it'll be okay. But I got to figure something out. Yeah, I got it by using this little tiny wrench and this piece of bar to help me swing it a little bit. Just went kind of slow with this one. You know, I didn't want to totally trash the square end on this. But we should be good. This is for our home. This one is not. This one is not because it's right up against this. So that's going to take, you know, wrench by wrench. And it looks like we're just going to fucking make it. I hope. You know, otherwise this might be a problem. So I'm going to pull these back out and switch them all over one so that this isn't hard going in. They're all in. They're all bigger. Looks like one of these I got a slight split on. I don't know why. The bolts did go in hard, but when I took them out, they didn't look like they were the wrong thread or something. I don't really know. My only worry now is that these are like a little too long. I'll have to shorten them up a bit for the brake pads. And I kind of foolishly put Loctite on them, thinking like, yeah, this is it. This one I had to bring down with a regular wrench. You see, it's just about touching. Just about touching there. Maybe it is touching. But I got it. I mean, this will work. It certainly will work. Probably work just fine. But I don't like it. So I'll probably search for another whole real wheel, maybe at a swap meet or something. Although, they're not easy to come by. And if on the brakes, put them on, yeah, I do think they're going to rub. God damn it. This will be a little tedious cutting these off, you know. Son of a bitch. Alright, I think we'll be safe if we take that much off. That way they're kind of flush. That's like 4.7, maybe we'll go 4.5. That's hardly anything. Well, I knew that I didn't have any metric lock washers, but these are American. So if I put this on with this on, we got the problem solved as far as length goes. So I think I'm going to go with this, sloppy as it is. Maybe it should go like this instead. No, I think we'll go like this. Okay, with the washer and lock washer, we're looking perfect. Flush, and these are definitely tight, and this is going to work, I think. No problemo. Okay, we're about ready to put the brake shoes on. One of the springs, or both of the springs, look kind of like this. Or one side got kind of like overstretched. So I'm going to see if I can get those back in shape and get the shoes mounted on the hub. The sprocket on. Got the brakes on. The only other thing we need is the arm. Now this one had an arm that's like this. And that's a front one. And what's weird is I needed a front one for my other Z50, so we're going to swap them out because I had a rear one on the front. You'll see how goofy that looks. Here are my two 50s. I mean, yeah, two Z50s, 1970, 71-ish. This one's made with all sorts of parts. I call it the ugly duckling. This one's a little bit better. I've had it for a long time. Still need like a headlight and a couple other things, other refinements. But if you notice, and you see down here in the dark, this lever is, hang on, let me get a light. Okay, here you see, sorry for the lousy light, the difference in arms. See how the cable goes out like that? It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like this. Oh, but look at the difference in size on the cam. I don't think that's the same, do you? I gotta measure that. Maybe this won't work. Well, I seem to measure the same. I don't know if this was the measurement I got for the other one. I can only hold my hand steady, right? And I mean, it's so close. So let's try it. Well, sadly they are different sizes. Not quite sure why this is. This one's definitely for the back. You know, maybe this is a front hub. I'm not really sure. But this one will fit. But I think we're going to do without right now. Okay, the wheel is on. Rim has a slight wobble, but the tire looks straight. The sprocket looks straight. With a couple of matched old school, the older style Z50 adjusters on. This thing, this chain guide thing, is kind of like, I think it's vented. It's rubbing. When the wheel's back, it rubs. So for now, I think I'm going to take it off. Yeah, that could easily be bent up, huh? I think there's supposed to be one that goes on top too. I don't mind them not there. Well, I put a new chain on it. I cleaned the front and back sprockets, and we're about halfway on the adjustment, and things look good. Better than putting that old rusty thing on. What I needed two master links. Got a temporary gas tank zip tied up. That'll work. I should set back just a little bit, but that's okay. Well, today's the day that we're going to see if it can go for a little ride. I only got front brakes, and I'm certainly not going to go hard on it the first time, but let's give it a try. This thing's tiny. Yeah, it works really well. Really surprised, but it's so small. I mean, I can barely fit on this thing. The thing I don't like is the handlebars. If I could, I don't know, raise them up or push them forward, but they're, welded. But yeah, I went through all the gears, and it feels really good, really strong. Wow, it's really impressive. It's got some power. There's nothing lacking. Considering how dirty the carb looks, it still is. It is really smooth. Yeah, everything's refinements from now on, I guess. I'm getting it to look a little better. Still got the gas tank. Well, it's getting cleaner for sure, so probably we'll be able to use this one. So currently we have no rear brakes at all. The brake lever has been zip tied to the foot peg, at least it didn't throw that out. We're missing a cotter pin, probably a washer over this. This looks like it would hold the spring. I assume the spring would come up here. Maybe to this, although this doesn't look original. My guess is there's something that's stuck out a little more to support the spring. There's no rod. I looked online and nobody even sells one. So I think I'm going to make one. And I got this rod. It'll come back and go into that small arm that I had, because that's all I got for now. Hope I don't have to pull off the wheel to put that on. Looks like I might. And we'll probably have to thread this rod. Some more adventures in tap and die. And what we'll do up here is drill a hole for a cotter pin and put a washer over it. Okay, this is what we got. That's the back wheel adjuster. I made this thing temporary because it doesn't fit very well for the rod. Fit over the rod. And then we got a washer and a cotter pin to go through this part. Alright, we need to get a little more bend in this so that I can get the washer behind it. It's a pretty tight fit, but I do want it to be a tight fit. This is pretty crappy back here. Now I have no dies. I thought I had some, but I don't have any. Yeah, you see that's not right. Maybe flipped around, it'll work. To thread this, and then what we need here is a spring and something like a maybe a nut or something with a spring here, and then we need a spring from here up to here, and then believe it or not we would have brakes. Well, we got a smattering of springs. I made a new one of these. A little more bend out of the rod so that we're able to get the washer behind the pin. This guy fits better and more centered. It's not going to work, obviously. I just put some duct tape behind here. Probably doing well for now. Let's see if any of the springs seem to kind of work. Here we cut off the zip tie. That's weak as hell, but that's the idea. And that pedal functions, right? I hastily made this plate, bored this hole to go over this. Yeah, I think it'll fit. Yeah, very nice tight fit. And then 3 holes to grab the spring. Not bad. It's looking good, right? It's kind of adjustable. I switched it back this way. The spring was a little tighter, and I look around the corner. I find the place where the spring goes. That's really funny. Well, I wouldn't count on this for long, but it's a start and certainly a placeholder. We got kind of the same deal back there as we got up here, although the washer doesn't fit in there very well. At least right now, just a cotter pin and that. It just holds it, you know, until maybe I get some dies or, you know, think of something better. The wheel spins freely, and the wheel also locks up. What else you want? What else do we want? We want a washer here and a nice size cotter pin. Next, I think I'm going to take this off. There's one cotter pin holding it down here, a little spring up here. I tried hitting it a little with a 5-pound sledge, but it wasn't going to move. A little bad news on the tank. It is leaking on the side. I mean, I was thinking it would have to be red coated anyway, but I don't have any red coat. So there's another one that's just about as dented on eBay for 10 bucks. And it's totally clean inside. I'm thinking of maybe going for that. It's actually cheaper than buying a can of red coat. So what are my options for bending this thing back? Yeah, we'll try the vise. So the peg is pretty straight, pretty, not perfect, but this is bent forward like kind of far, and it's not something I want to wail on while it's on the engine. So I think that's an improvement, but it's not perfect. Well, this is just an hour and a quarter's worth of pain. First, there's what was left of the cotter pin in there, and so I said, I'll just drill it out with my favorite little drill snap. The drill snapped right in there. Then I took my smallest punch, snap, broke off in there. I mean, I ran out of small things to like pound through, so I was using like brads that like you'd get 2 pounds and then they'd tip over. What I ended up doing is taking what was left of the broken drill bit, turning it over and pounding it through with that very lightly, and it finally came out. I was also missing a washer down there, so that's good. Looks good, certainly straighter than it was. Man, it's starting to get chilly out. The autumn is close by. Actually, the wind today is cold. Well, kind of successful today, I would say, considering I actually rode it. I went through all the gears. It feels really peppy, although it's tiny. Very small. Just rode it around a bunch more around the yard, and the back brakes don't work worth a damn. They don't work at all. I don't know why. But we'll keep on the refinements, and that's all.